I'm back and I'm making another video. I did this with the espresso, but didn't go too much into it when it came to doing a seasoned rind. So first we're gonna apply chipotle, light olive oil to this cheese. This is the cilantro smoked jalapeno cheese I made earlier, and I dried it for like a day and a half or so. But I just want to let you see the cheese and hear that dryness. See how it's orange all around here? It's because it's dry. This cheese is dry. And you want to make sure that your cheese has a good solid rind on there before you go to rub your slurry on top of it. The reason being is that when you take this cloth and you put it in your mix and you start to drive it into the cheese, you don't want to rip the top of the cheese off. So it's always important to let these dry to the touch. There should be no moisture showing, should be no moisture coming out. Yes, I put my hand on this cheese, and I've already washed it. So again, for all you naysayers, been there and done it. So I just want to show you really quick what we're going to do here with this. And the slurry, you don't want it to be like a thick paste, right? Kind of want to make sure it's kind of just doesn't stick, it just falls off. That's good. If it all sticks on there, I could use a little more oil. And it doesn't fall off. It's going to be too thick for you to apply, and you're going to end up applying like this chunky paste all over the top. And you don't want to do that, because you don't want chunks of anything that you put on top of your cheese, because that's just going to be a place where extra moisture can collect. What you want to do is create like a nice surface that is not chunky. You want it to be basically just to see the spice on top of the cheese and see it impart into the cheese itself. So I'm going to show you here in a second. Now I'm rubbing this in, guys. I'm not just I am not just like, ooh, I gotta get this on the cheese. No. I'm driving it in there because I want this flavor to be inside of the cheese. So you see what we're going with here? See how there's no huge chunks of it on the top? And that's what you want. You don't want it to be so dry that you don't get good coverage into the cheese, and where there's an area available for those chunks to rest. Because like I said, they will hold moisture, draw moisture, and they will actually prevent the cheese from aging the way it should age. So we're gonna go into this. Now, this is just the first application, all right? So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna apply this all the way around, and then we're gonna come back to it probably in, I don't know, a couple weeks, and we're gonna do this again, maybe a week or so. I haven't decided yet. It all depends on what she's looking like. But what I want to do is get that stuff driven in there. You see that? See that there? See how I'm doing that? It's nice, right? And you know what? The great part about it is if you make the cheese correctly and you dry the cheese correctly, it's cooked correctly, like everything kind of falls into place. Again, getting back to the science behind this, in the end, you should have, even though you have a cheese that's, you know, it's got these herbs and such in it, you still have a cheese with a surface that's so strong that you can rub. You can rub this in there, and that herb, it's still in there. It's not coming out. It's in there. It's like ragu, people. It's in there. So that's kind of the importance of aging, especially when we're talking about like the natural rind. And for those of you that want to natural rind a cheese, this is what you want to. This is where you want to pay attention. Natural rinds need to be temperature controlled. They need to be humidity controlled. But first and foremost, they need to be correctly fused and binded by pressing and by drying and salting. So all those processes have got to happen, and they have to happen in a certain way. If you don't follow your process, you get impatient, and you let that cheese go in the press too wet, and then you stick it in the fridge and it's too wet. I mean your aging space, and it's too wet. You're gonna have problems. You don't want that. I see a lot of people that post cheeses, and I've done it too. I mean, I'm not perfect at all. Where they go into aging space and they're just too wet, right? Like sometimes they'll be in there for a week or two, and they just don't dry out. And a lot of people think that has to do with the actual cheese itself. You know, for whatever reason, oh, it just won't dry, it just won't dry, it just won't dry. No, that has nothing to do with the fact that it won't dry. It has to do with the fact that the cook wasn't performed properly, and the curds weren't dried out enough, or there was incorrect or improper pressing for improper lengths of time. But in the end, this is what we have. Here she is. She's all done. And now we're going to let this dry for a day or two. And I may reapply again. But the goal here is to keep a layer. Once you see some white molds growing on here, you want to get this again. More oil, and some more whatever you want to put on there. I'm using chipotle. You can use paprika, whatever it is. Once you see that white powder or mold grow on there, you want to reapply and drive that mold back into the rind. And you'll want to rinse and repeat this until the cheese is done. So that's the short of it. I'm about to cut some curds in a minute, which is kind of exciting. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, guys. See ya.